Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm independent journalist Georgia Fort. Today, we bring you special coverage from George Floyd Square. As many of you know, last week marked 2 years since the murder of George Floyd. So today, we will bring you to George Floyd Square, and people in community gathered there last week to reflect on what it means, how much has changed, what has not changed. We're going to hear from artists, community leaders, as well as George Floyd's family. Take a look at today's special coverage.
Give it up and welcome to the second annual Rise and Remember concert, where we honor the legacy and the life and the community. And above all, the legacy of my nephew, George Perry Floyd. So yes, give it up, give it up. I'm Vince Harrelson, and I'm co-emceeing tonight here with the lovely Maya Ann. I'm gonna say Maya Angelou, but it's Maya Washington, kids.
So this beautiful night is really dedicated not only to the family of George Perry Floyd Jr., but to all of our survivor families who are here, who've come from near and far. Your loved ones are lifted up here at George Floyd Square, and we are so thankful that you all are here. We're also thankful for this amazing community at 38th in Chicago. Holler, yeah. 38th in Chicago. So this evening, we've got poetry, we've got music, we've even got film in store for you. The family has put together an amazing lineup, and we are so grateful that you're all here.
Got 2 more performances coming up. First, I got the lovely Miss Lakeisha Aycock. She's gonna perform the national anthem. We're talking the hometown version of the national anthem. Then we got followed after that, we got Brandon Lee Tullock, okay? So I said, Lakeisha Aycock and Brandon Lee Tullock is gonna do a spoken word piece. So, waiting for Lakeisha to come up.
Right here behind you.
You're beautiful, don't go changing.
Thank you.
All right, I'll let you do it.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure and an honor to be in this space with everyone. I stand here today in honor of George Floyd, Amir Locke, who is my family, and other men, women, and children that have lost their lives at the hands of the police and police brutality. I also stand here in honor of my brother, Brian McDowell, my nephew, Rayvon McDowell, who were both lost to gun violence here recently. And before I sing this song, I just ask and I encourage each of us to continue to use our voice and lift our voice up as one together. Lift every voice rejoice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Bring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won, is won, is won. Thank you.
Thank you. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? How about y'all way in the back? Can y'all hear me? Yeah? Yeah, y'all can hear me? Cool. So I'm gonna do some spoken word for you. My name is Brandon Lee Tulloch. But before I do that, I just wanna say that to talk about where we go from here, we also have to talk about how we got to where we're at. And to talk about how we rebuild and how we build, we also have to talk about the destruction. And to talk about how we heal, we also have to talk about what caused our pain. And that's basically what this piece is going to do. So this piece is titled, This Is. To paraphrase an African proverb, if a child is not embraced by the village, they'll only feel the warmth when they burn it down. So look around, it's no wonder why this was burnt to the ground. This is Minnesota, where all they have to offer are cold stares and cold shoulders, where black folks don't grow older. So when we're killed in cold blood, the only way to warm up is to make things smolder. That fire that's inside us all keeps us united, and to conquer us, they try to keep us divided. Let's not forget their violence was the first to be incited. They call it a riot, but if they don't want no smoke, then don't ignite it. This is the Twin Cities, where they'll kill you in the street, sweep it under the rug, justify it, and blame it on drugs and build a roundabout around it like, don't look at that. But they forget that these are our streets, so we took them back. This is Minneapolis, where the tensions run high between cops and civilians, where your tax dollars pay for police misconduct by the millions, where the politicians will cry at funerals they could have prevented, where they'll lie during campaigns just to get reelected. This is where they don't listen to the people. They only act like they care what we think. So the only way for us to voice our opinion was at the 3rd precinct. If you really want to know how we feel, give us the money y'all want to spend on the precinct rebuild. You'd be amazed at what we build. If you really want to listen to what the people say, come and sit at a meeting at the People's Way. This is 38th in Chicago, where the video showed the world the cops did wrong, and now it's where we show the world that George Floyd will live on. In this intersection, we will always feel this pain. In this intersection, we will always scream his name. In this intersection, we come together in unity. We show the whole world the true definition of community. We are the least protected by those who took an oath to protect and serve us. So why would we look for healing from those who hurt us? We will heal ourselves by showing radical love to one another. We break bread, we bump heads, we laugh, we cry, we hug on each other. We celebrate, we mourn, we cook, and we eat. We make art, we dance, we march, and we shut down these streets. This is George Floyd Square, and it will always be. And these streets will be shut down every angelversary. With or without a permit, the people will find a way. We will never let y'all forget what happened on the 25th of May. We will never let y'all forget how you tried to justify it. We will never let y'all forget how you only listened after the riot. We'll remind you what side you were on as we live through modern history. And we'll show you that we won't stop fighting until we declare victory. This is how we heal, with the power of the people, standing side by side in the fight of good versus evil, until we're all equal, until we're all free, until we no longer need to make memorials in the streets. This is how we heal, and this is how we fight. This is how we come together and demand justice for every stolen life. And this right here is how we will keep on healing us until we exist in a world where they don't keep on stealing us. Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. Scream his name. Scream his name. All power to the people.
His name is Brandon. Let's give it up one more time for Brandon and Lakeisha. So this next group has really made a name for themselves here in the Twin Cities. Known MPLS. Known MPLS is an audition-based youth choir here in the Twin Cities under the direction of Cortland Pickens. We are so fortunate that these young people have put together a beautiful piece they call a tribute to George Floyd. Please make some noise for Known MPLS.
Ooh, ooh. I found you, I found you. I found peace in the river. I found peace by quiet streams. I found peace on the mountain. I found peace in fields of green. I found peace on the desert. And I found peace in raging waves. And I found peace in the valley. Oh, I found peace in what you said. Oh, and I can finally breathe again. And I can finally breathe again. I found peace in the chaos, and I found peace in suffering. Oh, and I found peace in confusion. Oh, I found peace inside of me, yeah. Oh, and I can finally breathe again. Oh, and I can finally And I can finally breathe again. And I can finally breathe again. 'Cause I found you in the river. I found you in suffering. Oh, I found you on the mountain. You were always around me.
Check. So the words to that poem is so powerful, I'm going to have Ariel speak it for you guys while the mic is on.
He asks for the sun to come out more, to lead a light in a darkness, and lead a path to happiness and peace. Our brothers are lying in the street, breathless, screaming, "I can't breathe! I can't breathe!" And with no relief, no relief. Without a word, without a saying, without a way, he must live on. We're not doing enough. We're not saying enough. But we must live on, and we must have peace.
One of my favorite things about George Floyd Square and this community at 38th in Chicago is the way that we uplift our youth. They're the reason why we're still here and we're not going to go anywhere, because there is a future ahead and it is bright, and we are those who say what our future is. So next up, I am so proud and excited to introduce the people who curated this concert and really are the reason why we're all here. So now I am very excited to announce that I am going to bring to the stage the founders of George Floyd Global Memorial, as well as some of our special guests and members of George Floyd's family on both sides. Now, I don't know if you realize how big this family is, so we need to make a lot of noise, and we're gonna make a lot of space on stage, all right? So I welcome to the stage Angela Harrelson, Paris Stevens, Janelle Austin, and their distinguished guests. So come on up.
Hello. I am so excited to see all of you. You know, this 2 years has been a journey. It's been a process. We all went through a very, very traumatic experience 2 years ago. But I want you all to know that we are healing together. And you know what? All of you guys have been so special to the Floyd family. The prayers, standing in us in solidarity. We could not ask for a better community. And I'm so proud of every last one of you. Yes, I do. I miss Perry. See, you guys know him as George Floyd, but the family over here and here, we know him as Perry. And we miss him dearly, and we know that he is looking down on us. And he's proud of everything. One thing, we just got the George Floyd Police Act passed. Isn't that great? Woo! So anyway, I do have my family here with me, and I want to bring them on stage. But first, I want to say I do have some family in the audience, the Harrelson side. If you guys could stand up. Thank you for coming, Tracy, Terrence, Brian, Allie. Allie and your significant other, I don't know your name. Say it again. Satra. Okay. And I hope I said that correct. But anyway, this is my family here, and I'm so proud to have you from North Carolina, from Texas, from New York. You know, if there's anything you guys want to say right now, but just if you don't want to say anything, your presence here means the world, not just to me, but also to them. Anyone?
How y'all doing, everybody? Yeah, George Floyd, that was my brother on my father's side, my father's namesake, George Perry Floyd Sr. I just want to say thank to everybody. Appreciate y'all for the love and support, and just keep his name ringing, keep his name alive. Thank you.
All right. Somebody say, "We will heal us."
We will heal us.
We will heal us.
We will heal us.
It is up to us. It's not up to anybody else. We are community. We are family. We depend on each other. We are now the heartbeat of Perry. So go back into your communities, to the different states that you live in, and take this message with you. We will heal us. This is now our purpose. So thank you for being in this movement. This is not a moment, this is a movement. It's a continuous movement. The race was not won in one day, but to the ones that endureth until the end, we will get there. So thank you again.
So it is my responsibility to do all the thank yous, but before we do thank yous, I want to first recognize some very, very, very important people in our midst that I would like for us to honor, and that is all of the impacted families. The reason why George Floyd Square looks like George Floyd Square, because these families lost their loved ones. And we need to be able to honor them. We need to be able to remember them. We need to be able to uphold them and love on them. So, oh, they're behind me. Hey, you're all here. All of our impacted families. So we have, if y'all want to say the name of your loved one or your family so we know who's here.
Justin Tigan.
Jacob Blake.
Breonna Taylor.
Fred Cox.
Well, my son was Jamari Rice, who was murdered at Sika High School. So Jamari Rice.
Dante Wright.
Oscar Grant.
Brian Quinones. Jamar Clark.
Is that everybody?
And unfortunately, there are so many more families. And we're here today. We're here today to honor them, to remember the ones that they have lost. And so we are so grateful that you have joined us today. We also want to thank the community here at 38th in Chicago. The George Floyd Global Memorial is extremely grateful for the community that lives and breathes and exists here and has kept us safe and has kept this space a space that can be honored and celebrated and grieved and all of the things. And so, y'all, can you make some noise for the community here at 38th in Chicago?
So I'm really excited that we have something really special for you. Two filmmakers who've really been in community here really since 2020 have prepared a really beautiful piece that really helps us understand where we've been and where we hopefully will go. And I'm going to introduce them now. Please welcome to the stage filmmakers Ashley Tyner and her brother Will Tyner.
Hi everyone. So great to see you all and be in community with you all. My name is Will Tyner, and this is my awesome and beautiful sister Ashley Tyner.
We're independent filmmakers who came to Minneapolis in search of a way to be in service to the movement back in 2020, and since then we've been collaborating with leaders and organizers here in the community on a film project capturing some of the journey of the past 2 years.
We've been blessed to meet and work with so many of you, both from behind the camera and otherwise, but there are still so many of you that we are hoping to connect with, because our goal is to speak with everyone who would like to share their story and to collaborate on uplifting all of the powerful voices in this community.
Today, we're honored to share a bit of our work in progress as a tribute and in deep gratitude for all of the work and love that you all have put into this movement, and we're excited to share more with you soon.
My belief and my faith is so strong. Everything that I cried for, everything that I prayed for, everything that I talked to God about, He brought forth May 25th, 2020. Unfortunately, it was a sacrifice of George Floyd's life. See, God needed certain fighters in this fight. He needed certain fighters in this fight because Lord knows I didn't ask for this life.
My name is Tashira Garraway. I am the founder of an organization called Families Supporting Families Against Police Violence. And we are fighting against the violence that have been committed against our families here in the state of Minnesota.
Jeffrey Smith was killed May 9th, 2016.
I'm the wife of Brian Quinones.
waxaa wiilkaygii way dileen su'aal ciid bay dileen November 30keedii waxayna u dileen sababta ay u dileen waxaa weeye because of colorkiisa he's a black man.
We are the siblings of Jamar Clark.
I am Dante Wright's mom.
My son was Marcos.
My son Demetrius Hill. My son was Quincy Smith. I'm speaking for him because he can't.
Flag, so we can put it back. We understand the flag.
You don't know what flag you do? Hey, you explain that while I'm here.
The Pan-African flag. Okay. So it's the Pan-African flag. Right. The green is for the wealth, the black is for the people. Okay. The red.
I haven't seen that piece of street in a very long time. It wasn't something that was painted over. It wasn't something that was messed with. It's still its original piece as it was to begin with. That took me back to May. I appreciate the long run. From there to here, that's a lot in itself. That's why I'm like, all that energy, all that, everything is there. Like it's there. Like that's real. That really happened. I don't need to pinch myself to be like, we've been here all this time, because we've been here all this time.
National Historic Monument. I see Emmett Till. Nothing ever happened for Emmett Till. And he got a picture in the paper with his mom's face. This is for Emmett Till's mother. This is for every mother.
I remember being back in high school when Trayvon Martin was murdered, and you were thinking, okay, this is gonna be it. Like they're gonna have to change everything, and then nothing really changed. And then Mike Brown, nothing changed. Eric Garner, nothing changed.
We're not settling. It's 24 demands. See you on the other side.
No justice, no streets. I don't think they thought we meant that, what we did.
Human beings, and we deserve to be treated like human beings.
Say his name! George Floyd! 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 George Floyd! You changed the world!
Since George Floyd lost his life, what you've seen there was people from the community at work keeping this thing alive, keeping this place alive. You feel that spirit in this place. You feel something that you don't feel down over on 494 or Highway 35E. Of course, you're going to feel some love there and somebody's rear-ending you. But at any rate, I just got to give props to Will and his sister for that film. Now, what we got coming up, yes, give them a hand, y'all. What we got coming up is Minnesota Chorale in partnership with some singers from the community of Minneapolis, along with the Minnesota Orchestra and 2911 from the motherland. They're going to be performing a selection from a piece by Joel Thompson, which I got the privilege of seeing the whole concert in its entirety at Orchestra Hall with the full orchestra. We just got a section of it, but it's powerful, it's beautiful, it'll make you think. And I want to say something about that piece. It was written in 2014, and you recall, like around that time, 2014, my man lost his life over a bag of Skittles around then. But when that piece was first performed, he had people walking out on it because they just couldn't handle the truth that was coming from the music on it. He wasn't saying anything out of line, but he was making people think through this music. So just sit back, listen to this, think about it. It's a beautiful piece. It's called 7 Last Words of the Unarmed. So again, this is Minnesota Chorale, Minnesota Orchestra, 2911, and a lot of the talented singers here in Minneapolis, Iowa. Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Good evening. I'm Kathy Saltzman-Morumi, Director of the Minnesota Chorale, and I've had the great privilege of preparing Joel Thompson's 7 Last Words of the Unarmed with 2 dear colleagues, Dr. Adrian Davis and Shakayla Wanyama. On behalf of the assembled musicians, we want to thank the Floyd family, Janelle Austin and Maya Washington, for the invitation to add our voice to the countless offerings that have been left at George Floyd Square over the past 2 years. We're honored to share this music as part of today's Rise and Remember concert, and to remember the many who have died unjust deaths in this community and across the country, and to stand in compassionate solidarity with everyone assembled in pursuit of racial justice.
While this piece of music honors the words of 7 men whose lives were lost to police brutality, we acknowledge Amir Locke, Dante Wright, Winston Smith, Koku Fiafanu, Dalal Eid, George Floyd, Justin Tigan, Philando Castile, Brian Quinones, Kobe Dimlock Heisler, Dominic Felder, Courtney Williams, David Smith, Anthony Williams, and countless others in Minnesota and around the country whose lives have been lost in this horrific manner. Here at George Floyd Square, we know that this space is sacred. Each name on the mourning passage is evidence of love. Each offering at the memorial is evidence of love. Each plant, especially those who have survived winters in the greenhouse and emerge strong and defiant in spring, each of these is evidence of life. May we allow ourselves, in the midst of our grief and devastation and anger, to also be rendered speechless by the renewable forces of love and life that we find in this place. We invoke the names of these loved ones in the pursuit of justice, knowing that injustice is unnatural, knowing that love added to love creates more love, that life added to life creates more life. We know that in one another we find our way toward hope and healing. We heal us. Say his name.
So as a community, let us share in this musical experience together with love, awareness, understanding, and a critical consciousness to which the content is intended to activate all of us in our justice journey. So we're not hoping or expecting for justice, we demand justice. To provide greater context to this musical moment, I'd like to share just portions of a letter written by the composer of this piece, Emmy Award-winning composer Joel Thompson, who is also a black man, originally from Atlanta, Georgia. Here's just a small snippet of his letter. 7 last words of the unarmed wasn't written to be heard. It was essentially a sonic diary entry expressing my fear, anger, and grief in the wake of this tragedy. Freddie Gray's death, at the time when he wrote it, the following April urged me to try to bring 7 last words of the unarmed to life. This piece is not about those who have robbed black people of their breath without justice. It's not about them. It is really a meditation on those who violently shortened their lives. Their lives were shortened, and an effort to focus on their humanity, which is often eradicated in the media to justify their death. I don't possess the arrogance to believe that this music or any music can heal the soul sickness of racism or any of its symptoms, but I do believe in the power of us. Everyone, regardless of race, gender, or creed in this space, we can be the change that we seek. When the music's over, let us continue to listen, and let us listen to each other with love and hope for a more just future. Yours truly, Joel Thompson. Here is the 7 last words of the unarmed.
Movement 1 and 2. Kenneth Chamberlain, age 68, lived in White Plains, New York. He was a retired Marine and a 20-year veteran of the County Department of Corrections. He accidentally pressed his life alert necklace, which led to the police entering his home despite his reassurances that he was not in need of assistance. His life alert recorded the police calling him the N-word before one of the officers shot and killed him. Officers, why do you have your guns out? Trayvon Martin, age 17, was visiting family in Sanford, Florida. Trayvon liked to repair bikes and play football. He wanted to learn and repair and fly airplanes. He was walking from the store after purchasing a bag of Skittles when he was chased and killed by a neighborhood vigilante. What are you following me for? Amadou Diallo, age 23, lived in New York City. He saved up $9,000 from working as a street vendor to afford college. Amadou called his mother in Guinea to let her know he was going to fulfill his dream of studying computer programming. He was shot on the steps of his apartment by police officers. Mom, I'm going to college. Sung by soloist Ethan Murphy. Michael Brown, age 18, lived in Ferguson, Missouri. He was a recent high school graduate, an amateur musician, and was 2 days away from beginning a training program in heating and in air conditioning repair. He was killed by police officers while walking down the street with a friend. I don't have a gun, stop shooting. Oscar Grant III, age 22, lived in Hayward, California. He worked as a butcher at a market and had a 4-year-old daughter at the time of his murder. He was shot in the back by a police officer as he lay face down on the ground. You shot me. You shot me. John Crawford, age 22, beloved son and father of 2, was in Beaver Creek, Ohio, purchasing ingredients for s'mores when he was killed in Walmart. He was holding a pellet gun. It's not real. Eric Gardner, age 43, lived in New York City. He was a horticulturist, father of 6, grandfather of 3. Eric was known as a neighborhood peacekeeper. He was choked to death by a police officer. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
When the war is won, we will be sure. We will be sure. Glory. 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 One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours, be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be strong, we will be strong. Oh, glory.
You've been watching special coverage this morning from George Floyd Square as community gathered to honor George Floyd's life and legacy 2 years after his murder. Stick around for more on the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show.